Mike Yanek Show. Chupa 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 best show on the planet. Chupa chupa Mike Yanek Show. Chupa 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 best show on the planet. Chupa chupa bow wow wow bow wow. And now, ladies and gentlemen, welcome your host for this podcast, Mr. Mike Yanek. Hey, woo, yay! Bam! How you doing, bro? Episode, I honestly don't know. I think it's episode 8. 9, 10, 1 million. Who gives a fuck? How you doing, bro? Are you having a great week? You know what? I just noticed that I post this on Wednesday morning, and if you're in America or something, it's like Tuesday during the night or something. So when I ask, are you having a good week? It's pretty much like, have you had 2 good days? How was your Monday and Tuesday so far? So when I said, did you have a good week? I mean from Thursday last week to Tuesday this week. Yeah, it's kind of confusing though, isn't it? But anyway, bro, I hope you're on there. I hope you're hustling. I hope you're bustling. You're making that money and you're shaking that booty. Oh, this is gonna be the new this is how I'm gonna open the shows from now on. I hope you're doing well. I hope that you're hustling, bustling, and shaking that booty. The strip club episode completely changed the landscape of this show. You know what I mean? Now it's completely different. We're in a new era of the Mike Yanek Show, all about shaking booties and making money. Oh, listen, mate. So this time, okay, I promise I'm gonna stick to the script. I'm not gonna go all over the place because I was supposed to do the episode about the conspiracy theories last week, but I didn't manage, mate. I just too much stuff happening on my end, being too much of a good boy and shit, and I didn't manage to do it, mate. Sorry, but today I promise I'm gonna talk about conspiracy theories and everything related with conspiracy theories, and also before I dive deep into it. Boom, boom, boom. I don't have like sound effects, by the way. I definitely need to improve the show. Like, maybe I need to have like little cheeky songs, but I don't want to edit. I don't know how to edit anything, so I'll just play stuff from my phone, boom, boom, boom. Because I'm gonna be discussing like a few conspiracy theories and just trying to figure out if they're real. Yeah, I'll actually solve, like questions that people have been asking for the last maybe, I don't know, 100 years. Are UFOs real? And I'm gonna pretty much answer it in the next few minutes. No, in the next hour. I'm pretty much gonna give you a definitive answer. If Bigfoot exists, if UFOs are real, if El Chupacabra is real. Stay tuned, yes. Anyway, the weather's been kind of shitty the last few days, which is no surprise because I live in Liverpool and weather's always shit here. Even though I like it, I don't like hot weather and I don't like the sun, so it's good for me. But it's been raining a lot whole day, so during this podcast, you might hear a bit of rain, like little choo 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 choo. I don't know. Can you hear this? You probably can, yeah. You can hear like little raindrops and stuff, little tiny raindrops. Boop, 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 boop. Because I live on the last floor. How's it called when your room is on the last floor, like an attic or something? And my window, I have like this massive window on my ceiling. So whenever it rains, I actually quite enjoy it. It's very relaxing. But you might hear something in the background. I'm just letting you know, which is actually quite good because it creates a bit of a mystery and a bit of a scary, spooky atmosphere, like Scooby-Doo movie. And it's quite good because we're gonna talk about spooky stuff now. And anyway, before I start with the actual conspiracy theories, we need to talk. I need to acknowledge the king. I'm not, just to let you know, I'm not into conspiracy theories at all. You know what I mean? I don't research them. I just can't be, I have too much shit to do. I don't have the time to worry if 7 people control the world or whatever the fuck, lizard people, whatever the fuck, all that nonsense. I just don't have the time to be bothered. But we need to acknowledge the king of the conspiracy theories, which is Alex Jones. If you've never heard who Alex Jones is, if you lived under a rock for the last 20 years or something, he is the king. He is the king of the conspiracy theories. He's been doing it for about, I don't know, 20 something years, probably even more. And he is insane. I genuinely think that he is one of the most unintentionally entertaining people on the planet. Like, just watch Alex Jones after this podcast. Alex Jones, like, compilations or funny compilations on memes or something. He's outlandish, mate.
And before I continue about him, because I'm gonna forget, I'm all over the place. You know that expression? I was thinking about it today before I started the podcast. You know that expression? How, you know, in case you've been living under a rock or something. And I was thinking like that. Living under a rock, that's like a miserable existence, isn't it? Like that's probably like that's like really difficult, though, isn't it? I mean, fucking, how fucking big is that rock, though? And also, why you just planking on the ground and like a massive rock is on top of you, or how does? I mean, I know the expression it comes. Yeah, probably if you're like a what type of stuff live under a rock though, like a snake, bugs, that type of shit. I don't know, but that must be like really frustrating living under a rock. You don't have your own room, you don't have a laptop, you don't have a phone. You're just fucking under a rock, right? Send me a fax. I can't send you a fax. I'm living under a rock, motherfucker. Hey, forget about it. I'm just over here with my rock, you know. Uh, I'm over here in Brooklyn. Guy, forget about it. I'm pretty sure people from Brooklyn don't talk like this. They used to, though, back in the 90s when I was growing up with all the sitcoms and movies. Oh, no, no, no. Look, see, I'm going all over the place now, talking about rocks and people from Brooklyn. We need to go back. So, Alex Jones is, he's insane, man. Just look at him. So, he claims, like, all of the conspiracy theories that you can think of, he I think he believes them. He believes that, whenever, which is that's pretty crazy. In America, whenever they have like some shootings or something like that happens, some incident or like an attack, he thinks, and not even him, like a lot of people think that these are like all actors and stuff. And I was like, what the fuck's wrong with these people? You know what I mean? Like, who the fuck? Yeah, these are just actors and just, how do you call it? Like a false flag or something, which is completely insane. Then he thinks chemtrails, these are like the people who think that the government is spraying chemicals in the air, motherfucker, and making people sick or whatever. Then, oh my god, this is like you probably heard this one, it's really famous. He was ranting, he was going insane. I'm really intense and I'm really crazy and loud on stage, but that's for like a few minutes. That's for like 5 6 minutes, 10 max. He does like a 3 or 4 hour show every single day, and he is like full on made, like from 0 to 1 million. 4 hours a day. He's just screaming, sweating, bro. I'm sure he has like a towel or something, under the desk so he can wipe himself. I'm sure of it, mate. He's fucking sweating, pounding on the. He has like this huge desk with like so many papers, articles, papers, fucking books, whatever the fuck. It's all over the place, and he's fucking those goddamn Bilderbergs, the Illuminati. It's fucking bam, 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 slamming on the on the desk. I'm sure that the desk is like bulletproof or something. It's pretty sturdy, I think, because the amount of damage and punishment that desk has seen over the decades. Fucking hell. But the studio looks nice, though. In all fairness, his studio looks very nice, and he has like these giant screens behind him, like massive, like a wall of just. It's like a theater, like a theater screen behind him, and it just has this like weird graphics of Infowar, and and oh my god, he sells these supplements and stuff, which are funny as well. I don't know. Will I get claimed by Alex Jones's team for talking about him? I don't know. It's a satire program, Alex. Don't worry about it. And the most famous thing he ever said, I think, was he was complaining that the government puts chemicals in the water and no, how was it? Fuck. I don't wanna search for it now because I'll go into this rabbit hole of Alex Jones videos, and it's just going to be me silence for 40 minutes and just fuck. See, I'm even thinking about his videos now, and see, I forgot how to speak. Anyway, so he thinks that the government puts chemicals in the water that turns the frogs in the lakes and the rivers gay. And the first time I heard it, I was just pissing myself laughing. I was thinking like, there's no way this is real. And then I look at the video, and yeah, he said that, and there were so many memes and shit. And I was thinking like, first of all, because that's funny. But then I was thinking like, what do you have against gay frogs? I don't like. You know what I mean, man? It's when he said it, I think it was like 2018 or 19. But still, man, I mean, come on. It's almost 2020. Now it's 2020, but when you said it, you know what I mean? You need to be a bit more open minded. There's nothing wrong with being a frog or being a gay frog. You know what I mean? And how do you distinguish them? So you just walk by the. Where do you find frogs in swamps and shit, innit? A river, so you just walk past the river. And well, how do you distinguish? I mean, unless they're shagging. Also, how the fuck do you know which frog is male and which frog is female? I've never looked at a frog and I was like, yeah, that frog is definitely a guy. You know what I mean? I should write a bit about that, but nah, I can't be bothered to write a bit about frogs. What the fuck? And I talk about more sophisticated topics on stage. No, I talk about really, really dumb stuff on stage. But anyway, how the fuck do you distinguish unless you know they're shagging? But even if they're shagging, you don't know who's a guy, who's a girl. And so it can be just a couple, just on their honeymoon, just having a bit of a shag. Oh yes, Robert. Yeah, blah, blah, blah. Little, can you imagine little? Oh, that'd be so funny though. Little frogs shagging. Oh yeah, yeah. Oh, do you think that they do like dirty talk and stuff? Ah, that'd be so funny. Can you imagine? Little frogs like yeah, yeah. Like, what's a froggy name? Like a name for a frog? Do you think they have like regular names, the frogs, or is just like they have their own version of names? Froggy McFrogger. No, but I'm sure that the froggy is like, you know what? Froggy is probably like the most stereotypical name for a frog because froggy. And it's like, in humans, when you have, I don't know, maybe like Joe, like he's an everyday Joe or like a John or something, and probably for them is the same froggy. Oh, not enough. Oh, can you imagine like frogs doing? I don't know. I'm gonna talk about frogs. Fuck it. If frogs have like their own comedy clubs and they do like comedy, so you have a little frog, hey everybody, oh what's your name, like hey, and that classical, hey what's your name, where you from, when you start to do the crowd work, and the frog is like, okay, so yeah, hey how you doing buddy, I see you there on the first floor, on first row, so what's your name buddy, and the frog goes, my name's Froggy, and the comedian will be like, yeah, of course it is Froggy, ha ha ha. And everybody laughs. And every second frog I meet is named Froggy. What the hell is up with that? Ha ha ha, And he has like a little tuxedo and like a little bow tie. And he has, I don't know why, but in my imagination, my frog stand-up comedian is not gonna have the regular mics, but they're gonna have, on the talk show back in the 90s, they have those ballpen mics, I think are called. They're like with a really long, like little stick, and at the end there's like this ball, which is the actual microphone. And I don't know, I really like them, so he's gonna have that microphone, and he's just gonna be like, hey, so what's your name? Oh, look at this frog over here with the big tits, ha ha ha, stuff like that. Just regular compare MCing work. Anyway, I was talking about frogs. Anyway, yeah, what I'm trying to say is nothing wrong being a gay frog, straight frog, whatever the fuck you are, okay? It's 2020, baby. So he was saying stuff like that, and then he was saying that there's also spraying chemicals in the air, like I said. What else? Like everything. Oh, mate, he was. So when he speaks, when he gets into these rants, he gets really animated, like really animated. And his imagination is something I haven't seen before. Honestly, like I have a wild imagination, but it's nothing compared to his. He creates these worlds, mate. I'm not joking. And you can easily write a science fiction novel for those rants, like a book. You can easily write. The rants that he does are completely insane. He was saying that there is like these creatures from a different dimension who comes on Earth, and they kidnapped women and guys or whatever, and they have like this base on the dark side of the moon, and they keep them as sex slaves, and they and this is, oh, he was doing the Joe Rogan podcast and he was going insane, and I'm just pissed, I'm crying laughing, and I was like, what the fuck's happening, you know what I mean, like, and he's animated, and the thing is, like, obviously it's a bit like pro wrestling. He's playing a character, and I don't take him seriously. I don't think he believes everything as well, but unfortunately maybe not the most outlandish conspiracy theories, like the dark side of the moon and having a colony or whatever, but I'm sure that there's some people who take like chemtrails and all that nonsense seriously, which is really, really sad. And I'm gonna tell you a story because I've only met one person like that in my life, and it was very bizarre experience. But before that, I just wanna mention, because we're talking about, the whole conspiracy theory and the government looking, listening to the people and all that stuff. And I just wanna say, do you know? You probably know that whole, what's it called, Alexa, Amazon Echo type of stuff. Is that the same? Amazon Echo and Alexa, is that the same? I think Alexa is just the name of the fucking thing, innit? Anyway, I don't follow technology. I don't know anything about technology. I can't be fucking bothered, mate. Honestly, like, I just can't be bothered. I just have this old phone here, and that's it. And I just bought this microphone, and it took me ages because, to pick the microphone, because I don't know anything. So I read all these reviews. Anyway, I'm this was a few months ago, maybe a year or a few years ago. I don't know. Time flies really fast, and we went to the. There's just like a little gathering of one of our mates' home. Um, I think after a pub or something. I don't know. So we go in there and we go to the living room. I've never been to his house before, right? And we're like four people or something, and we're just sitting. And I'm sitting on the couch, and right next to the couch there's like this little table, and on the table I saw that whole fucking Echo Amazon thing, because I've never, like, there's all these commercials on non-stop everywhere, and especially when I go to Amazon, it's always on the first page. And I've seen like some parody videos of this shit, so I kind of know what's happening. I mean, I know how it looks and I know the function of it, but I was very weird, creeped out, and I was like, "Is that thingy Amazon thing?" And he was like, "Yeah," and I was like, "How does it work?" And he's like, "Okay, let me show you." And he's like, "Alexa," and this fucking thing just woke up out of nowhere. And he's like, "Yes," with this like weird voice and stuff. "Yes." And he's like, "Play," I don't know. And he was like, "Mike, what type of song do you want?" And I was like, "Oh, I don't know, ACDC." And he was like, "Okay, just give me a name." And I was like, I don't know, TNT. And he was like, "Alexa," and he's like, "Yes, play ACDC TNT." And and this fucking thing went, "Okay, playing ACDC TNT." And he started playing, and I was like, "What the fuck?" You know what I mean? Like, where the hell does he get the music from? Probably like connected to Spotify or something. I was like, "Holy shit!" And I was like, "What?" And he was like, "Yeah, you can ask it questions. You can be like, Google searches and all that stuff." And I was like, "Alexa," and like, "Yes, uh, what is 2 plus 2?" He's like, 2 plus 2 is 4. And I was like, "God damn." I was like genuinely impressed. And then I was like, "Alexa," she was like, "Yes." And I was like, "Is John Cena the best wrestler ever?" And she's like, "I don't know that." And I was like, "Oh," because you know what I mean? It's like, if you ask, because, I was just joking, John Cena, I don't like John Cena, but you know what I mean? But if you ask, like, how tall is John Cena, or how tall is Dwayne Johnson, The Rock, or whatever, it's gonna tell you. It's gonna pull up the information. Dwayne Johnson, The Rock, he's around 6'4", and he's built like a mountain, or whatever, But if you ask if you ask opinions, I think it's not gonna give you an answer. You know what I mean? If you ask, "Do you think that The Rock is a good wrestler?" And it couldn't answer it. It was so fucking weird. And I started asking all these like weird questions. You know what I mean? Not information. Like, what's the capital of Italy? And it's gonna be like, the capital of Italy is Rome. It's gonna give you an answer. But if you say, "Do you think I will enjoy myself in Rome?" I think it's not gonna be. I don't know. If somebody has Alexa, give it a go. Try it and let me know what's it gonna say if you start asking these weird questions, which like opinion based questions, I think. And sorry. And why am I not cutting out, when I'm editing? Why am not adding me fucking making noises and shit? It's gotta be natural, bro. Who gives a fuck? All the episodes I've done, I don't think I've done any, like edits to remove anything. So I just, who gives a shit? It's okay. You like me anyway. And let me drink some water, bro. So it was very weird. And you know what I was thinking? Like, I was talking with him, and I was like, "So this thing, this thing is on 24/7?" And he was like, "Yeah, but if you don't call it, it doesn't activate." And I was, "Yeah, but it's plugged in, right? I mean, and it's gotta be on somehow, because like, whenever you call it, straight away it's like Alexa, no, yes, like straight away, so it activates instantly. So it needs to be plugged to something, and probably there's like a button at the back which is on and off. I've never, I just seen it. I didn't touch it, but and I was thinking like, somebody said, I don't know, it was a comedian or somebody on a podcast. I was thinking like, these things, they probably listen to you. I mean, I know I start to sound like a conspiracy theorist now, and I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but I'm sure that they're listening they're listening, mate. There's no way they're not. And somebody said one time, which was very smart, maybe when did this whole Alexa thing came to prominence? I think maybe like 5 years ago. Not yeah, for 2015, 16 or something. So he said, just imagine, right? Before this thing came to prominence, and because now it's socially acceptable, and you get it, you go to Amazon, and they have different versions, different companies have different versions now. Just imagine maybe 5, 6 years ago, if they unveiled this product, and they said, so this product, if you call the name, is gonna, respond. If you ask him a question, if you're like, oh Alexa, give me a recipe for, I don't know, chicken tikka masala or whatever, like what's the ingredients, and it's gonna be like, chicken tikka, you need the chicken, you need to go to Asda and buy the sauce, and that's it, you lazy motherfucker, put it in the microwave or whatever, you know what I mean? It's gonna give you the ingredients and how to make it. But he said, if this product was unveiled and people, said it, I can do this. By the way, this product is free of charge. We're not gonna charge you anything for it. People will be like, I think people will be like, oh, this is the government spying on us. This is like a conspiracy. People will go crazy. I'm not joking. People will go crazy because they were like, oh, hold on. You want this thing to listen in on my conversations and being there. I'll never have an Alexa in my house. I'm not joking. I'll never do it. I'm even sure that my fucking phone is listening, because my phone is Huami. No, it's not Huawei or whatever whatever the fuck that the Chinese manufacturers, and they had problems with something to do with spyware or something, or they were listening in or gathering information and sending it over to China. I think, yeah, this episode is tying in together with the whole conspiracy shit. And they had issues. I think they stopped them. I think it's not legal now for them to sell their products in America or something. I'm not sure, because they were listening. But my phone is, I think it's a parent company, or it's the pretty much the same. It's XIOMI. Xiaomi or something like that. Somi, I'm not sure. So this is the phone. One of my mates gave it to me. I'm not, I don't buy new phones. I just people just give me their. I'm not even joking. For the last 10 years, people just give me their old phones, because I don't care about. Oh, I'll have the new iPhone or this or that. You know what I mean? I'm just gonna have just a phone, as long as I can make phone calls and maybe take a few pictures. So I don't care. So this fucking thing, I'm sure it's listening. It's listening to my conversations, which is really, really bad, because when I write comedy, I don't sit down and write comedy. I walk around the house and I start ranting and talking stuff. And whenever something like a punchline or something interesting pops up, I sit down and I write it down. And when I talk with friends and stuff, especially comedians, especially if it's on the phone, because I like calling people, or when I'm talking with my family, I say outlandish shit. You know what I mean? Because it's comedy, mate. You just want to make each other laugh. And I say stupid shit. And when I'm working on material, I say a lot of nonsense. And if you just hear the recording, if you don't know that, oh, I'm recording a podcast or I'm doing writing a bit, you'll be like, oh my god, this guy should go to jail. I mean, I don't say stuff like that, but it's just I'm just messing about, because I'm improvising. I'm trying to, you know, trying to find stuff that are funny. This is how it usually works. And I'm sure this fucking thing is listening on me. And the problem is, I'll never buy this Alexa, because 100% listening on me. And yeah, if people just offered it for free, I think people will be more suspicious. But now, not only that they're not offering for free, you need to pay fucking how. This thing is expensive as fuck, man. He told me he paid like 90 quid or something for this shit. And I was like, why do you need this? He was like, oh, it can play music or whatever. And I was like, bro, just fucking pull up your phone, or, you know what I mean? Just fucking press a button. It doesn't, I wouldn't feel comfortable. You know what I mean? And especially when I'm by myself. Sometimes I talk to myself. out of nowhere. I do like voices and like on the podcast, doing stupid shit. Sometimes I do it by myself because I'm bored. Hold on. Sometimes I'm just bored, mate. You know what I'm saying? And or when I'm working, sometimes if I'm writing or I'm just editing something or creating like some marketing material, and if it's quiet or I'm listening to a podcast or whatever, and I just start saying stupid shit or just making voices just to entertain myself because it's boring. But this Alexa stuff is fucking weird, mate, honestly. And so I want to tell you about this guy that I met. I think it was in 2000 and 2017 or 2018. Not sure. Not sure. Doesn't matter. But it was so fucking bizarre. Like, I've never met a person who was genuinely obsessed with conspiracy theories. You know what I'm saying? It's like I've met people who are just maybe into it, like here and there a little bit, but I've never met a person who was genuinely obsessed with them. Like a friend of a friend. It was so fucking weird when I spoke with that person because they didn't seem right in a way that I think that their whole existence, I don't know for how long they've been doing this, and I felt kind of sorry. I felt kind of sorry for him because I don't know for how many years, but he was genuinely obsessed. He believed almost all of them, and I started pushing, like doing some outlandish one. He was, like flat Earth, hollow Earth, and that type of stuff. He believed the lizard people, which for me was like, okay, fucking hell. He genuinely believed the lizard people, and he was constantly thinking that people are following him, the government is listening on him, and that type of stuff. He was just like paranoid, like, oh shit, bro, I'm telling you, right? I'm telling you, the fucking government is listening on us, and like these fucking cameras. Why do you think for the last 2 years in the UK the amount of CCTV cameras skyrocketed, and why do you think this? And they put this in the water, and I was like fucking, and I couldn't. He spoke so quickly as well, and I couldn't keep up with him. And I was asking him, but mate, so what do you do for a living? And he said, oh, I'm currently unemployed, which, there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, in a way that I've had difficult periods of my life as well. So, I mean, sometimes you're going to struggle, sometimes you're going to be unemployed for a few months or maybe a year or whatever. I'm not saying it to be negative towards him, like, oh, you don't have a job, fuck you. No, I'm saying, I was asking him because when he said, I don't have a job, and then I was saying, but mate, even let's say everything is true. Let's say that absolutely everything you say is true. Like lizard people control the universe. I even sounds funny when I say it. You know what I'm saying? Like they control the universe. It's fucking They put stuff in the water. Chemtrails. Let's say everything is true. How? Like, let's say Illuminati and all that shit. And I was like, how does that change your life? Okay, let's say yes, okay, everything is true. So from that moment on, how does that affect your life? And he was like, well, because these stuff, da, da, da. And I was like, okay, yeah, they're true. Now what? And I was like, are you gonna make a change? Can you make like, well, you gonna destroy the Illuminati, or you gonna stop the plane? You know what I mean? Let's say that everything is true, and that's what I'm trying to tell to these people, that's why I don't even look into it, because it doesn't make any difference. Like genuinely, let's say that there is lizard people. I just can't do it with a straight face. I just can't say it without smiling or laughing. Let's say that there is a cabal of lizard people, okay, who look like human, and let's say that they control the whole world, all the industry, the whole world. They have the meetings up in the mountains or whatever the fuck. Okay, let's say that is true. That is 100% true. Okay, so now what? Now what? You are maybe working a factory, or you're a plumber, or you work in Asda. Okay, as the cashier, what are you gonna do about the lizard people who are controlling the world? Nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not, even if you know that is true, it doesn't make any fucking difference to your life. It doesn't make any fucking difference to their life. It doesn't make any fucking difference to the universe, because there's nothing that you can do. Nothing, nothing, nothing. Okay, if you're a billionaire, let's say you're Elon Musk or whatever, you're like a leader of industry, and we're having that conversation, that is different. Okay, you can genuinely impact economies, you can impact people, behavior, that type of stuff. Or if you're like Beyonce, right? Because she has, so like, Beyonce is not the, I'm sure that there are some like royal families across the world, that when you mention Beyonce's wealth, they will laugh because she's not. Maybe she's a billionaire, but she doesn't have more than 1 or 2 billion, right? There are families who worth trillions of dollars around the world that we don't even know. But Beyonce has a lot of social, how to say, social wealth. Is that a thing? Is that a thing? I think it should be a thing. You know what I mean? You should have financial wealth and social wealth. What I'm saying that she has so much social power. She has power. She has financial power and some means. You know what I mean? And the means of the entertainment industry and the means of lower level economies. She has financial power, but she doesn't have in the grand universal world. Like the royal family of Saudi Arabia, for instance, they have a lot of financial impact and power in the global sense, right? Beyonce has just like a regional sense, but she has mm, huge, 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 huge. She has to be the most famous and adored female singer, no, even singer, currently living singer on the planet right now. Who else? I mean, I think Taylor Swift, but she hasn't. Taylor Swift, she's been for maybe the last 5, 10 years or something. Beyonce has been doing it. Beyonce has been doing it since I was 12 or 9 or something. With this, she's been doing it for 20 years. Hold on. Yeah, she's been doing it for about 20 years or something, isn't it? So she has a lot of impact. So if you're Beyonce and if you're having a conversation with me at some guy's birthday party in a random flat in Liverpool, which it can happen, which I don't know. Oh, some people believe in clones as well. You know what I mean? The clones that, for instance, that some celebrities are dead and these are their clones, like, and other people believe that, like Tupac or Michael Jackson or whatever, they're still alive and they live on an island. That's type of a conspiracy as well. But if you're Beyonce and if we're having a conversation, then I'll be like, oh, okay, that's interesting. You know what I mean? Because, okay, let's say that that's true. You have an actual impact. But that guy, he didn't have any impact. And most of the people who are deep into this shit, they don't have any impact on the universe. Sorry to disappoint you guys. And it's mostly guys. Let's be fucking honest. Women don't have full shit like that. I've noticed, like, some bizarre activities and hobbies and interests. It's always guys, isn't it? It's like never girls because I think they they just have a social life. Women are good at having a social life. I've noticed they have friends, they have social life, they can get laid whenever they want. You know what I mean? In most cases, probably they have families. Like their life is genuinely intact. But when you're like 40 or 50, the conspiracy theory is always older guys. I've noticed. And when you're over 40 and 50 and you have no friends, no family or kids, and you get a bit crazy and they be like, yep, let's search for that fucking Bigfoot. You know what I mean? And you're out there in the jungle or in the, not the jungle, the forests with a fucking hat on and three of your mates with fucking, what do they have in America? What do they hunt? Rifles, yeah, with fucking rifles and binoculars and shit. And they'll be like, God damn, we're gonna look for that Bigfoot. God damn. You know what I mean? It's always guys. It's never girls though, is it? It's never women. Women too busy, man. They have a life to live. You know what I'm saying? I think women have a better life, social life than men. Like throughout, throughout the, how to say it, in the lifespan. Yeah, I think women have a way better social life than men. And it's very rare you're gonna see a 40 or 50-year-old woman with like no family and no friends and just staying alone by herself in her house and going crazy. Maybe the cat lady, like once in a while, but it's mostly guys. Unfortunately, I mean, I don't want anybody to be lonely and to go crazy over conspiracy theories. So I'm trying to go out there and make some friends, motherfucker. And but it's crazy though, isn't it? These fucking conspiracy theories. It's insane. Some of the shit these people say. And this guy, I felt sorry for him. Like, and he had a girlfriend, and his girlfriend was really, really, really into them as well. I don't know who got. Somebody got somebody else started, but I was pushing, and I was like, okay, what about flat Earth? And he was like, flat Earth? Oh, come on. Come on, that's ridiculous. That's preposterous. There's no way. And I was like, why not? Because, I'm starting to push now. I'm being a bit of a douchebag, but I'm being genuinely very serious. I'm very good at, like, being preposterous, but being super genuine and serious at the same time and just defend an outrageous idea, You know what I mean? Like super, super seriously. And he was like, oh, that's ridiculous. And I was like, why it's ridiculous though? And he was like, Earth is not flat. We've seen pictures, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, but hold on. But you're saying that the world is run by lizard people? And he's like, yeah, of course. And he starts showing me all these conspiracy theories and pictures and shit. And I was like, what the fuck, mate? And then I go on other stuff like, is the moon made out of cheese? And just preposterous shit. And he doesn't believe them. And I was like, I think that you're crazy, man. That you don't believe the moon is made out of cheese. You know what I mean? And it's like, fucking hell, mate. But I don't know. I want to read. Hold on. I have some conspiracy theories here, by the way, because I wanted to. Let me have a look. So the guy. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, so we talked about Alex Jones. We talked about Alexa. What else is a conspiracy theories before I start to go to the actual, conspiracy theories? I can't think of anything modern because the all the ones that I'm gonna talk about are like really, really old ones. Hold on, where the fuck is my phone? Hold on, here you go. I'm just because I have this improvised studio with the pillows over here, and I'm just fucking can't see anything. I'm fucking looking for the telephone. Hold on. What is a modern conspiracy theory? I can't think of any, to be honest with you. Like, oh, 5G, bro. What is that 5G though? Honestly, I see clips all the time, and I see like these stickers, like graffiti art stickers. Oh, 5G equals death or whatever the fuck. What is 5G? So 4G, isn't that like what is that, like the connection of the internet? Let me have a look, man. I genuinely don't know. What is 5G? Hold on. Somebody's texting me. Oh, Mikey boy, look, this a fan. You wanna know what they're texting me? Oh my god, I saw you last night. Oh, hold on. Do you really wanna? I'm not joking. Somebody just texted me. Okay, let me open it. Hey, how you doing? I saw you last night at Hot Water. Well, you were really, really funny and easy on the eyes. Wink, wink. Kissy face. Oh, you're really, really cute. And I think you're very, very talented and funny. And you looked really, really tall. Are you free for a drink, maybe, in the upcoming days? Jessica. Well, okay, Jessica. If you insist. I get texts like this, like these, all the time. By the way, I'm not joking, mate. Since I started comedy, I've taken so many pictures with women after gigs. But you know what? Because I need to be careful. Because I'm this whole Me Too movement. You know what I mean? Like I think it's very controversial. But on one hand, for up and coming artists and comedians such as myself, it teaches you to behave. I've always behaved. I've never been like a pervert. When I say that I'm a pervert, I'm just joking. But I've always been very I've always behaved and been very respectful around women, especially women that I don't know. But now it's like I need to keep my distance. When I take pictures with women, my hands are always in the front. Like thumbs up or something, because I don't wanna just casually grab somebody by the waist and 12 years later or whatever, you know what I mean? Somebody, oh my god, in 2019 in Liverpool when I was drunk, we took a picture. Look, do you see how he's grabbing my waist? So I'm just like, no, you know what I'm saying? I'm just like, I'm gonna. By the way, this text that I just read, I'm just joking. Nobody actually, no, they did text me, but it's me mate James. He's like he's a booker, so he's just offering me a gig. I'm really funny. I'm joking. I'm a sweet boy, but no, he genuinely texts me just for gig. But I'll look after. I'll read it after. But yeah, I wish I got a text like that from a girl named Jessica. Jessica's a nice name. I like this name. If somebody is called Jessica, a fan of this podcast, write a comment. Okay, be a good girl. Write down a comment. Be like, I think that you're really funny, Mike. I think that your podcast is really, really interesting. You have a smooth, sexy voice, and I think that you're a good boy. I've seen that you've eaten all your vegetables and all your fruit. And the memes that you post on your Facebook page are very dank. They're very good. And you're really funny. And you have a nice haircut. Yes, I have a Facebook page now, by the way. And I'm really, before I go into the conspiracy theories. I think this is because look, I don't have any adverts, like you've probably noticed, but I don't do any adverts. I don't, you know what I mean, and I don't charge anything for the podcast. I don't have a Patreon. I'm not asking for money or anything. Probably in the future, maybe after I've said to myself, I'll do it at least for 6 months free, and after 6 months, maybe I'll see just if I gather a following, maybe if I wanna invest because maybe one day it'll be good to do like a video podcast, but everything takes money. So maybe one day after maybe six, how many times I'm gonna say the word maybe, for fuck's sakes? My god damn it. One day I will open, probably. I don't want to say the word maybe. What is a different word for the word maybe? I have no idea. I don't want to do, maybe I'll do like a Patreon or like a contribution or something. I don't know. We'll see. But I don't have any ads. But I just want to plug this thing, and maybe I'll start plugging it more in the future. But I'm really, really trying to build up my social media presence and just create my personal brand, because, as you know, I write books. Everything is on Amazon. Just type in Mike Yanek. Cheap plug. I also, I'm very serious about the podcast, and I advertise it heavily. And I'm also doing the comedy, and it's not a secret that one day I want to have a career in the entertainment industry. So if you go and you can check out my Facebook page, it's at Mike Yanek Show. And I post a lot of updates. I post a lot of memes. I have Meme Tuesday, which is, just funny memes regarding me and my stage persona and my life. On Wednesday, I always post an episode of the podcast. On Mondays, usually I do highlights from the podcast. Not every episode. Some episode doesn't have highlights, but some episodes have like little segments. I post them there, and whenever I do a gig, I post from the gig, pictures from the gig. I will start posting in the future, maybe in mid 2020 onwards. I'll start posting videos of me performing. And every weekend I usually post like a little update or this or that. Or recently I bought some boots, toe boy news, and they make me very tall now. Honestly, their heel is so thick, and this is a conspiracy. See, I need because I'm not talking about conspiracy now, and I feel awkward, but their heels are so thick. I'm not joking, mate. And I'm like 5'7" now. I'm so happy, honestly. Like, I feel like a new person, because these shoes are probably 2 or 3. They give me around 3 inches, I think, easily 3 inches. They're really, really massive. They're like these combat boots or something they're called, but they're created more, aesthetic. But they're really nice. Hiking boots, sorry. So they're hiking boots, but they're transferred into like high fashion or whatever, because my name is fashion. Anyway, and they make me tall, and I feel really, really happy now. Yeah, let's go back to the conspiracy, because this is like a cheap plug, isn't it? I can do like these cheap plugs midway the show, just promote whatever the fuck I have going on. I'm gonna start plugging gigs, by the way. I'm starting to think, but this is really pre-recorded. This is recorded in January. You know what I mean? Like, and this thing will go out probably middle of March. So, but the thing is, I want to start doing at the top of the episode or in the middle. I would just do like just promote my dates where I'm going to be, so you can come and see me live, because my biggest goal is to have people to come and see me do comedy live, because like I said, clubs don't do any justice, mate. You know what I mean? It's not the same, and you need to see me, because every time it's a different show, because I always do a set, but I always leave little gaps for maybe improvisation or just trying out new stuff. I always do it that way. You know what I mean? But you're gonna get a show. Don't worry about that. So come and see me. But yeah, just check my Facebook page. I post all the dates there. Anyway, let's go back to the conspiracy now. And now back to the conspiracy theories with the Mike Yanek show. My chair is it's making all these weird noises. Fucking hell, I don't know if you can hear it. Okay, let's see. What do we have here? I've written down a few. First one is Bigfoot. Now, these ones are all old ones, by the way. Like, these conspiracy theories been around for since the 70s, to be honest with you, because I don't follow conspiracy theories, so these are the only one that I can think of. First one is Bigfoot. Now I'm gonna say the conspiracy theory, then I'm gonna explain what is it, because maybe you're a fucking 19-year-old kid who doesn't know what the fuck's happening. Sometimes when I go to gigs and there's like on the first row, and I was like, "How old are you, dude?" And he's like, "Fucking 18." And he's born. When are you born? And the year 2002, which for me is insane. You know what I mean? Because I don't know, man. I'm born 89, and it's just weird because I know what I did when I was in the year 2002. I was like 13. That is like was the sixth grade. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, when I was the sixth grade, you were born. That's insane to me. Anyway, so it feels kind of weird. So if some young people listening to this, some people don't even know about old stuff. I was telling my cousin she didn't know who was Elvis, dude. I'm not joking. So my little cousin, she's 16, and we're talking one time, and I just made the reference like, look at this guy, man. I just said like, oh, we're watching performance or something. And I was like, man, this guy's more electric than Elvis Presley. And she was like, who? And I was like, hold on. And I stopped the thing, and I was like, you don't know who Elvis Presley is? And she was like, who is that? And I was like, oh my god, Elvis Presley. He's like, and I explained, and I was like, yeah, don't tell me you don't know who Bruce Lee is. And she was like, who? And I was like, she genuinely didn't know who Elvis and Bruce Lee is. And because she's born in the year 2004 or whatever. I don't know when she's born. No, when she's born, she's 16 now. 2020, 2004, 2004. You know what I mean? Like fucking hell. And I was like, come on, cuz Jesus, man. And she didn't know. So maybe if you're a kid, you're like, what the fuck's Bigfoot? So Bigfoot, it's about this like they also call it a Yeti, which is like this huge. People believe that it lives somewhere in America, always in America. By the way, I don't know what's up with you Americans, but everything gotta be there. The Mormons, the there's like this religion. They think that Jesus was born in America as well. So that you're a narcissistic nation. Sorry, America. I fucking love you, okay? I grew up with your pop culture, and I really want to visit and do comedy. It's one of my goals. But sometimes you're such narcissists. You know that you're a narcissistic nation when you think that the fucking Son of God, Jesus, was born in America somewhere and fucking was Kentucky or the Mississippi or I don't even know where is he born according to the Mormons, which is fucking insane. You know what I'm saying? He was not born in America. Yeah, you crazy Yanks. Nah, I love you, America. And so they believe that lives in America, and it's like this huge. It's like a 7 foot, 8 foot like gorilla man type of thingy. You know what I mean? Like King Kong, or obviously a much smaller version than King Kong, but people believe that they've actually seen it. And there is only one footage, actually, which is, they call it like the Holy Grail footage or anything. It's like 12 seconds or something, really, really bad quality. And I think it was in the 80s or early 90s when they filmed it. But then they discovered it's a guy in a suit because, they have like these documentaries and they do all type of analytics of the video, and they discovered like few years ago that was a man in a suit. But that's what they believe, and it's just ridiculous. I mean, I don't think so. I don't think it's possible. The only way that's possible, I think, and I'm being serious now, maybe if a bear and a wolf had a baby. You know what I'm saying? Like something freakish like that. And it was like a anomaly. Is that the word, anomaly of the creature? So there's something wrong with the genetics, and it becomes. But still, you know what I mean? Because that size, furry, that type of size, I think this is the closest thing. I'm talking realistically now. I'm not joking. If something like this would ever exist, I think if it's a weird, weird, weird breed mixture between, yeah, I think maybe well, we don't have dingoes, like wild dogs, but yeah, wolf. So maybe a wolf and maybe a bear, because we don't have tigers and shit like that in Europe or America. So yeah, well, they have in Texas. They have a lot of tigers in Texas, which a fact that blew my mind when I found out. But I found out on the Joe Rogan podcast that there are more tigers in Texas in captivity than there are in the wild in the whole of the world or something, which was insane, insane. Anyway, people just buy tigers. Hey, Dilly Bob, we're gonna buy the tiger, man. Oh, goddamn. I don't know. That was a weird accent. People from Texas don't talk like that. I do apologize. I need to really work on my acting skills, like accents and stuff. I'm really bad at that shit. Anyway, I think that's the only way though, because there's no way. So what is it? Or maybe, oh, hold on. Or maybe it's like an orangutan. Because even if you look at the pictures, I mean, obviously they're all drawings and people. It's not actual pictures of Yeti or whatever the fuck, but I think it kind of resembles a gorilla. Like, you know what I mean? That's the closest thing to an animal that I can think of. So maybe a weird mixture, a genetic freak of a gorilla, and maybe it grow to be like 7 feet. And no, silverback gorillas are actually quite big. Man, gorillas are scary animals, bro. Fucking hell. Don't get me started on them. They're fascinating, but they're scary as fuck, man. So powerful. And I think that's the only way. Maybe like a genetic mutation or something, and it's able to walk on 2 feet, and it's like 7 feet tall. And some crazy people who live in the woods or search for him got high one night, and they were like, "Oh my god, goddamn," and they saw it or something. I don't know. That's the only explanation I have. But I don't think that exists. If it exists, it have to be some weird mutation or just some fucking guys in costumes. Okay, hold on. How they keep texting me? Hold on, mate. I'm doing a podcast now. Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ, James. If he hears that, he'll laugh. Fucking hell, James. You keep texting me. I'm fucking doing a podcast here for me fans. Jesus, mate. Talking about fucking conspiracy theories, fucking Bigfoot, and fucking UFOs. Do you know what I mean? This is a Scouse accent, by the way. If you've never heard it, not a really good Scouse accent, but I cannot do accents. I'm a shitty actor, mate. I'm a good comedian, but I'm a shitty actor. I'm a really bad actor. I really need to work on it. Okay, Bigfoot, Loch Ness Monster. Okay, so we going to a fucking Scotland, mate. No, oh my god, this is like the accent that I'm trying to do is Scottish, but it just sounds like a weird mix between Scottish and Australian. Hold on. Yeah, we bastard, we're gonna go to Scotland now. Talk about Loch Ness Monster. Oh, I think they call it Yeti. I think Yeti is the Loch Ness Monster. So Yeti, was it the Loch Ness Monster? How do they call Bigfoot? They used to have like a nickname. I don't know. It's called Yeti, you wee bastard. Come over here to the Loch Ness in Scotland and eat some haggis. That's bad. I'm alienating every nationality now. Fucking hell. So we lost the Americans first. We lost the Scottish. Now I made fun of the Scousers. We lost the Scousers. Kind of lost the Australians. I've made so much fun about Australians on this podcast. I'm making fun about everybody, but the problem, I love everybody. I don't want nobody to feel sad. I love you people, goddamn. We're all one. Let's hold hands and sing Kumbaya. Oh, Kumbaya, my lord. Kumbaya, my lord. Kumbaya, my lord. Kumbaya. See, we're all friends now, man. Life's good, I like people. People are interesting, I like to meet different people from all around the world. Let's talk about the Loch Ness Monster, motherfucker. Loch Ness Monster. So the thing is, so the theory is that there is this huge creature which is the size fucking not a football field, but really, really big. This dinosaur kind of, because dinosaurs, they had different types. Like I only know the T-Rex and the one that flies, but I don't know the name of the one that flies, Philopterosaurus or whatever the fuck. And they had different. So one on the ground, other one was flying, and they have one in the waters. You know what? I'll make a shit biology teacher when the lecture comes to talk about dinosaurs, and I'll be like, listen here, kids. So you had dinosaurs, okay? You had T-Rex. That's the only one I know. So and the flying one, okay? Varapsora, or Sora, whatever the fuck, right? And you had dinosaurs that walked. You had dinosaurs that fly. You had some in the water. End of class. Go and have a cigarette now. And you see all these like little kids like smoking cigarettes. This was a
really nice class, Mr. Yanek. I learned so much shit. Sorry, that's from smoking 2 packs of cigarettes a day. I really enjoyed the show, though. It was very informative. I learned about the T-Rex because his hands are too short and he has difficulties wanking or picking up shit when he drops it to the floor. And I learned that I saw that. That's for smoking 2 packs of cigarettes a day, goddamn. Then I learned that you have flying dinosaurs, and they fly and you don't know the name. That's okay. I don't know the name either. Then I go, goddamn, these cigarettes, they're getting stronger by the day. Then you have dinosaurs that swim with binoculars and shit, goggles. And they have these little things at the end of the feet so they can swim faster. They're like Michael Phelps. They're winning out there. They're out there swimming, shaking the asses and winning medals. Very informative, Mr. Yanek. Thank you. I'll see you tomorrow at Sex Ed.
Oh, Jesus. I'll make the worst teacher ever, mate. Oh, my. Oh, can you imagine if I do like a sex ed class as well to the same kids that I encourage to smoke cigarettes? I'll be like, okay, kids, listen. There's a dick. Here you go. See, there's a dick. There's a vagina. You smash them all together and you hug in a special way, and that's how kids are born in 9 months, okay? No problem. Timmy, I see you raising your hand. You have a question, little motherfucker. And little Timmy. Where the fuck am I going with this? Little Timmy stands up. He has like a cigarette in his mouth, like, yeah.
And Mr. Yanek is really. This class is even better than the class with the dinosaurs. I'm really enjoying it. And we learn about pussy and with dick and everything, how babies are made. And Jesus fucking Christ. Jesus fucking Christ.
Yeah. I'm only joking, kids. Don't smoke cigarettes and never let me be a teacher, because I don't know, Jack. I'm really stupid, mate. Honestly, like, if you come to one of my comedy shows, you will lose a few IQ points by the time I'm finished with you, because it's absolute fucking madness. So I've seen some of my comedy colleagues. They're like their material is so clever. You know what I mean? The way it's written, it had layers. You know what I mean? Different levels to the shit. It makes you think. You learn shit, and it's so well done. And I'm just looking at this, and I'm like, fucking hell. And then I go and I just scream. I just scream and mispronounce words. That's my whole act. There's a few premises here and there, and maybe a few punchlines, but my energy is funny. You know what I mean? I do crazy faces. I walk around crazy. I make like these fucking noises. You know what I mean? And this is how I get my laughs. I use very cheap techniques to get laughs. And then I see the other people, which are phenomenal, and I'm like, fuck, you know what I mean? I'm not that good. I'm very entertaining, but there's no levels to this shit, mate. You will lose IQ points when I'm finished with you. Okay, I promise. So yeah, don't let me be a teacher. I don't know jack shit about jack shit. Anyway, so Loch Ness Monster, yeah, like I said. So, and I think it was in the 80s or maybe the 70s. Somebody took a picture again, and this whole thing started all over the news. But again, few years ago, they discovered there was just like a prop, because they wanted to have tourists in that area, because it's a lake and it's really up north in Scotland, so the weather is bad. It's because in Bulgaria we have lakes, but some of them they used. I'm not joking. During the summer, they used to, I don't know now, but they're like artificial beaches created, and people going just because they clean them. It's like private. It's privately owned, so you have some lakes where you can fish, but you have some lakes. Is the lake the one that is artificially created? Was that a lake? Or I was really bad in geography class. I only know about countries, but when it comes to like natural stuff in geography, I don't know jack shit. Oh my god, it's really bad weather now. If you hear like a little background noise of the wind, I think it's perfect because talking about conspiracy and that type of stuff. But and they just sell tickets, and you can go, and and people just camp there during the summer because it's really hot. But you cannot do that in Scotland, because the weather is bad. It rains and it's very windy. So what they wanted to do is they wanted to get some people in that area, and they started the hoax. You know, initially, and now it's like a myth and a legend. Everybody knows that is not true. I mean, except a few weirdos who they're called cryptozoologists. Cryptozoologists. These are people who believe in animals like that. In conspiracy theories, and they go and try to find them and hunt for them. Bigfoot, El Chupacabra, um, um, all type of Loch Ness monster. There was a few more as well, but anything to do with animal related, myth and legends and that type of stuff, unicorns and all type of shit. And I think it's a fun hobby, but if you take it as a hobby, you just go and camp and just look through binoculars. But I've seen documentaries back in the day. I used to look at stuff like that. I was just interested to see people, and just documentaries like that are funny to me and interesting. Oh, does the Loch Ness monster exist? And you have 1 hour of this presentation. In the first 30 minutes is always like, oh my god, probably exists, and then the last 5 minutes, nah, it doesn't. Just a scientist comes and he was like, no, it doesn't. But it's interesting documentary. I used to watch it when I was a teenager, but I don't have the time now, and I'm a very busy boy, and high in demand sexually, gig wise, comedy wise, podcast wise, really famous boy. Good looking, handsome, tall, well spoken, very jacked, unbelievably shredded. Um, it's funny though if people listen to this and who do not know me, who've never met me, or they know what type of character I am, they'll probably think like this guy is such a fucking narcissist. He thinks that he's the shit, but I'm not. I'm an idiot, but I like to joke around and be sarcastic. Anyway, so yeah, I don't think it exists, but I think it's good for business. I've seen they have like all these gift shops. I think they have a hotel now, or like a house that you can stay in. They have all these T-shirts. They have the little, they have like these little cute toys of Loch Ness monster um, with the little hat, traditional Scottish hat. I don't know what's the name of it. The little what's the name of the Scottish skirt? Kilt? Kilt? Kilt. It's pronounced kilt, you wee bastard. How do you know? How do you don't know? What is the name of the traditional Scottish skirt? It's so famous, you wee bastard. It's not called a skirt, it's called a kilt. Kilt, I think it's called. And I think it's cute. I think it's good for business. I mean, I think people having fun. They're not harming anybody. Which I'm kind of surprised how the Americans didn't manage to create an economy around Bigfoot, which are very strange. They don't have hotels, gift shops, anything. They should. Americans are very good at commercializing things, honestly, like UFOs as well, because they have like, I'll talk about UFOs in a second, but they have like created a whole industry around them. Let me see, what is the other one? I have a few more. The other one is lizard people, which I think it's probably one of my favorite. Yeah, lizard people has gotta be one of my favorite conspiracy theories. Like I said before, there are people who think that there is this different race of lizard people overlords. They're always the top notch, the big banana, the cream or the crap, the cream or the crap. Oh yeah, let me tell you something, brother. Next week I'm gonna fight, I'm gonna wrestle, I'm gonna drop a atomic elbow on the lizard people. Oh yeah, next Wednesday at WrestleMania. Oh yeah. Right? This was Macho Man fighting the lizard people. And but they are disguised as just regular humans, and they're not ordinary people. They are the heads of state. the people who run the economies, you know what I mean, like really top notch people, not just like whatever the fuck, like your local mailman is a lizard person. No, 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 they are top notch. And that is the conspiracy theory, which I think it's. I mean, come on. You can say Loch Ness monster. You can even make a, Loch Ness monster. Obviously, no, but there is a chance if there is something like maybe the dinosaur, because there was a dinosaur who, because when they say Nessie, they yeah, Loch Ness monster, they show a dinosaur. You know what I mean? So there was an actual existing dinosaur, you know what I mean? Which is impossible to survive for all these fucking years. But if somehow, because even in the documentary, they said if somehow there was like this tiny colony somewhere, sorry, if it was this tiny colony of this type of dinosaur, Philopteroposaurus or whatever the fuck, and they've breeded, but they were in a place where nobody found them, and throughout the years they just had like this closed community, and they breeded, so somehow they survived. And let's say, because some turtles, they can live like 1,000 years or whatever, and let's say that they live 5, 6, 10,000 years, because you don't know, like the longevity of this thing. And maybe some of them survived, and they say because when the continents were separating, or there was a movement, so there was one trapped there, and that's how it ended up in the Loch Ness, because Loch Ness is quite big. Is the size, I don't think it's the size of a small sea, but it's big, it's very big, and it's very deep, I think, as well. So somehow, okay, there is like 0.001 chance of this conspiracy theory being true. And when you think about it, you know what I mean, you need to really do mental gymnastics, but somehow you can be like, okay, fair enough, maybe it's possible. But when you hear lizard, even Bigfoot as well, like I said, maybe like a weird genetical modification of a silverback gorilla or something, something with the breeding process. And because the people bring animals from continent to continent all the time, and maybe back in the day they bring them, and something happened and it's hiding, and it's maybe it was a few of them, and that's how they survive. Maybe, okay, 0.001, maybe possible. Okay, UFOs, you can make a big case, we're gonna talk about UFOs. But when I hear lizard people controlling the world, man, come on, what the fuck are you talking about, bro? I cannot be on your side, you know what I mean? Like that guy in the Liverpool party, I cannot take him seriously. You know what I mean? And I had a decent conversation, because we were talking about, people who control economies, and then we talked about UFOs, and then something else, which is, you can have a serious conversation about that. But then when he flipped the script on me and started talking about the queen being a lizard, and the royal family being a lizard, and this and that and this and that, and like famous people being lizards, oh, what the fuck, bro? And then he was showing me these fucking pictures, mate. He was showing me pictures, and he was like, oh, you can easily see that, this is the star, this is like his lizard, whatever the fuck. And I was like, okay, time fucking out. What are you talking about, mate? Insane, okay? If that was true, because I'm thinking, there's no way that how long did this thing existed? I need to have a conspiracy theorist on the podcast. Like, okay, because this podcast is not open to any guests, because I've said, even when I posted, I said, because I had people asking me, but there are gonna be a very few rare exceptions for people that I'm genuinely interested in, fascinating in the stuff that they do or they think, because I wanna know. So, like I said, Minaj from the episode 2 documentary, the king of the buffets. He's the owner of a. Oh, my voice is going. Oh, jeez, man. See, I'm talking about Minaj. I got excited now. Minaj from episode 2, the king of the buffet. He's the owner of a buffet somewhere in England. I don't know where. He's invited. I also have an open invitation. This is absolutely serious. If you've been a stripper, a male or a female stripper for more than 5 years, because I did the stripping episode, which was I have a lot of fun doing it, to be honest. I genuinely want to speak with you. And the third invitation now is conspiracy theories. If you genuinely are into conspiracy theories and you research them, or you're any type of cryptozoologist, or a person who actively, I don't know, talk about them or have a show about whatever the fuck, you genuinely believe in them. The craziest you believe, the better. Flat earth, lizard people, shallow earth, the moon is made out of spaghetti sauce, whatever the fuck, okay? The sun is somebody was saying that we live in a hologram and the sun is the sun is a hologram. Space is not real. I've heard that as well. That Hollywood produces this thing. Space is not real. Whatever the fuck, okay? That Tupac lives on an island. Michael Jackson is not dead. Whatever the fuck, okay? If you genuinely believe in these things, more than 5 years, if you know what I mean. Because if you just wanna trick me into getting to the podcast, it's not gonna work. I'm gonna do some research on you. If you genuinely believe, I'm not joking. I'm going to. I need to create an email. No, you know what? Just drop me a message on the Facebook. Just slide into my DMs. Either on Instagram, I'm at Mike Yanek. Either on my Facebook at Mike Yanek or at Mike Yanek Show. If you don't have Instagram or Facebook, leave a comment. I'm not joking, mate. Leave a comment on the podcast. Either if you're listening or I don't on Facebook, Instagram, whatever the fuck you can find this shit. If you're listening, okay. If you're genuine, I'm not joking, mate. Leave me a comment. I'll try to get you on, and I wanna talk to you because these fucking lizard people. And I have questions. Like first question is regarding the lizard overlords. If this is really true, how the fuck, for how long this thing has been happening? It's been happening for the last 100 years, 200 years since the earth started, or it's been happening for the last 15 years since the invention of social media or whatever. And if this is true, if this has been happening, let's say for the last 100 years, I think that we should have found out by now. You know what I mean? Like people so nosy, and some people genuinely don't have anything to do with their life, so they just research and follow shit. I think people would have known by now. They have seen maybe somebody slipped, somebody dropped their mask or something. Do they wear masks, or do they have like full body costumes? And when they like in the animations, and when they finish the day after hard work of taking over the world or controlling industry or whatever the fuck they do for a living, these goddamn lizard people, and they just walk into the house, leave the fedora hat, on the dresser or whatever, take their Mac jacket off, and they're like, leave their suitcase. They're like, and their missus, she's already removed the costume, so she's a lizard, and she's like, "How was your day, honey?" And he was like, "Well, I tell you what, it was a very long, difficult day today, taking over the world, controlling the banking industry, looking after the oil industry. God damn it! Let me take my suit off, girl." And he takes off his costume like a zip up, like the one. So he starts from the back, like in Men in Black. I think they had that scene, and he zips all the way down, and he just the costume just falls. He picks up the costume, put it on a hanger, and just puts it in the closet. And he's just like a lizard with a tail and everything. He's like, "Oh my god, honey, you look so sexy. Oh my god, you're such a good boy." And he comes over and he's like, "Okay, baby, give me a smooch." And he's like, "Oh fuck, man, hold on." See what happened? Oh Jesus, I fucking made a mess here because I was doing this imaginary kiss and I kind of dropped my pillows and probably you heard like a loud banging noise. Anyway, let me do the kiss again. "Okay, baby, come over here. I wanna give you a smooch." Oh, that was probably really, really loud. Sorry for people with headphones. Anyway, they kissed, okay? It was very romantic. And he was like, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna give you the banging of a lifetime." Why is it always so sexual with you, Mike? Fucking hell, mate. You need to find a girlfriend, Mike. Jesus, you little bastard. Anyway, I think it's outrageous, mate. Because, and also, so where do they come from? Because when I ever hear a conspiracy theory, I don't like, even when I talk with people like that, because I've met people who are genuinely, especially that guy, I don't dismiss them. I don't say, "Yeah, man, that's stupid, fuck off." I never do that because first of all, that's not fun. If I say, and it's disrespectful even to the crazy people. I want to be nice and sweet, you know what I mean? Because I want to get to know you, and I'll have an interesting story for the podcast. See, I talked about this guy for 20 minutes, and maybe I'll do a bit on. I can have a bit on stage, and it's just generally, and it's gonna enrich in my views as well. Even if you believe outlandish nonsense, I wanna hear it. I wanna see how your brain functions. I'm very interested in just people's ideas and how people perceive the world. So I never dismiss them. I always ask them questions, and I'm very serious. I'm never patronizing or just trying to embarrass them. So I'm like, okay, so if I have a conspiracy theorist on the podcast, I'm gonna ask them. They're like, where do these lizard people come from? Are they from a different planet? Are they from Earth? Do they have like a hideout? Do they have a meeting point? Do they recognize each other? How many are there? Is there like a million or like 10? You know, do they capture actual people and they transform them into lizard people? Do they get inside them, like a spirit, or is just like a lizard people spirit or something? I haven't done enough research because I genuinely don't have the time to be bothered. But these are like the type of questions I'm really interested, and I want to get like a crazy conspiracy theorist, and I wouldn't even interrupt him. I would just ask the questions, and I just want to hear this person speak because there's a lot of questions, honestly. Like, and listen, if you ever come to the podcast or if you want to talk about it, you better come prepared, motherfucker, because I'm gonna have questions. And if you're not prepared and if you don't really believe that shit, you'll look like a fool. Not only that you believe nonsense, but you know what I mean. I come prepared, man, and it's just bizarre. It's just like what, like these fucking was a space demon, interdimensional space demons or whatever the fuck. I don't know. I don't believe it, but it would be fun if they existed. You know, it would be fun though. I'm kind of tired of people. Like, I don't mean, you know what I mean. I'm tired of the species people. I think it would be so much fun if we had different species. Ah, fucking species. Mike, you cannot pronounce the word species. You're a very, very naughty boy. Species. I don't know, whatever. Like, in Men in Black or like different movies. And I don't mean, yeah, we have, like we have all these animals and whatever. But I mean things that can walk and talk and think and create like we do, but just completely different. I would love if there's. I'm not joking. If there's like human-sized lizard people, but with intelligence, with the ability to dream, to have emotion, to create, and all that stuff. I would love to have like creatures like aliens. I would love to have aliens on Earth live among us. Like more diversity. You know what I mean? Because when people say, "Oh, we need more diversity," I'm like, okay, I have nothing against diversity, but I'm like, I want something different. I'm tired of people because for me, you know what I mean? When I see a person with a different skin color, for me it's just a person. I'm like, no, it's just another person. I want something that I've never seen before. You know what I mean? Because even ideas, we have like this range of ideas in people, which is kind of similar. People in groups, you either believe this, or that. It's like 4 or 5 main general beliefs in the world, and that's it. Even with religion, there are some differences, but still, But for me, I want something different, man. I want like aliens. I want Martians. I want fucking, like lizard people. I want things that are just like blobs, just objects, but with faces, like triangles floating about, fucking circles, footballs, like, you know what I mean, with like faces and the ability to sing and dance and create and have families. Or, oh, here's the family of the, I don't know, the purple triangles. Oh yeah, you know what? I'll tell you what. These purple triangles that are moved into the neighborhood, very very nice. Well, I couldn't say people, but like very nice objects, very nice, rich history, interesting background. The food. Oh, don't get me started on the purple triangles. Food, man. These people know how to cook. I'm telling you. I'm telling you. You have the other family. Silver. With silver. What is another shape? Triangle, circle. What is another shape? Circle. That's a ball though. That's not interesting. I don't. Triangle. What is the thing with the 4 angles? Oh my god, I'm genuinely stupid. Jesus, man. Oh my god. What is it? Cube angle? Cube angle. Is there such a thing as a cube angle? Oh, it's cube, isn't it? But hold on, cube's different though. What is the thing with the 4 angle? The most thing, like the piece was the shape of a piece of paper. Oh my god, I need to stop reading comic books, I need to stop watch wrestling, and I need to start read books again. I used to be clever, mate. I'm not joking. I used to watch so many documentaries and read so many books and just enriching myself like years ago. But now all I do is jokes, and my jokes are really low IQ, low. I just think about fart and fart jokes and dick jokes and tits jokes. Really, really filthy stuff. I watch wrestling all the time and I read comic books. There's nothing bad in watching wrestling and reading comic books. It's awesome, but you need to balance it. And I've become so fucking stupid because I haven't balanced it at all. Oh my god, and I'll talk about shit. Anyway, the family of the silver circles just moved into the house, and I tell you, they're great people. Great, well, not people, but great shapes. That's what I want, mate. I want different things. I'm tired of only people. You know what I mean? Because, I don't know, man, people all the same, isn't it? It's kind of boring. I want different. I want little Martians, everything. And I want small things so I can feel big. Okay, these Martians, if they can be like 4'8", okay, and tiny, so I can feel big next to them. Good. Enough of these tall people. Okay, we had enough. I should be a president of the short people delegation, and me as a president of the short people delegation, I just want to say that we, the short people, had enough. I said had enough of these tall people oppressing us and making fun of us, and we're running out of money to buy platform shoes and to buy shoes that make us seem normal size people. But we're not. We're short and we're cute and we're charming and we're funny. But especially us, the short delegation, the short man. Women don't want a short man, which is fair enough. Because they want those really tall, good looking guys with the big muscles and the big cars. God damn it. So we need to import, we need heavy immigration of 4'8" green Martians to this planet. So whenever we need to overpopulate this planet with Martians. So that way they become the short one. Now the standard changes. We need female Martians and male Martians. And then we can look as a normal sized human being, and women can be like, oh my god, look at that Mikey boy over there. Standing tall and proud, 5'6" with shoes on. That is a giant. Because everybody else now is 4'8". And with his new platform boots, he is 5'7". And that is respectable in this current climate where everybody is tall or everybody is short. Back in the day, he used to be short boy because everybody was above 6 feet. Now he's tall because everybody is 4'8". So, a short guy can only dream. What is it talking about? Hold on. So okay, so we did lizard people. Yeah, I mean obviously, mate, it's ridiculous. How the fuck's wrong with these people, lizard people? Okay, hold on. Let me do. Oh, okay, I've done more. I'll do a bit more, mate. Oh, this episode is gonna be a bit. Oh, I'm getting fucking. My neck hurts. I need to fix my fucking shit here. Okay. Anyways, lizard people is ridiculous. Let me see what I have else. Lizard people, chemtrails. So chemtrails. Oh my god, this is people. So chemtrails. These are people who believe that the government puts special chemicals in the airplanes, and when when you see planes, flying around, commercial planes or like army planes or whatever the fuck, or if they're transporting something, and you're gonna see these trails behind, like white trails, and some people think that these are like special chemicals that are mind control chemicals that the government is spraying over like poor people or like middle class or whatever, so they can be mind controlled, which I don't know what to say because it's complete nonsense. But if you look into it, there's many pictures, documentaries. Yeah, it's true. And if you start looking into it, eventually you will get programmed. That's the problem with these theories, that eventually you will get programmed because it's a guy or a girl who's talking for like half an hour straight without nobody just asking him for facts or opposing him. He's just talking and he's dragging you into this. I need to watch some of like Hollow Earth. There's a conspiracy that the Earth is hollow and there's a different civilization living, which it's ridiculous, but it's interesting. You know what I mean? Like for me, chemtrails is just boring. But Hollow Earth is just interesting. Of course, it's not true, but it's fun because it's like a science fiction novel. They have a different. It's a different race of people, and it's like a different underground, like mole people or whatever. That's just interesting. You can create a whole story, book, a movie. I think probably somebody created a movie. That's interesting. Chemtrails is just boring. I don't even talk about it that much. Yeah, but the guy heavily believed in it. But no, they're not spraying fucking chemicals, bro. What the fuck's wrong with you? I mean, there's an explanation for the white lines that you see behind the plane, which I don't know what is it because I'm stupid and I don't have time to look up shit. But there is a genuine explanation. It has something to do with the atmosphere and the something to do with the plane going through the atmosphere and creates like these white lines, or going through the clouds or something. It's a reason for that, you know what I mean? But yeah, they're not spraying anything, mate. Don't worry, you can sleep tight. Flat Earth, obviously. I mean, come on, mate. How fucking stupid you have to be. There are genuinely people in 2020 and 2019. This happened relatively recently. The Flat Earth movement. I think it's a troll, mate. I don't believe that there are people who genuinely believe in this shit. But there are people who make money out of this. They did a Netflix documentary. And probably these people got paid. They interviewed the organizer. Sorry, hold on. They hold on, let me drink some water. They interviewed the organizer of this shit, and the guy who started it all. And this guy's making money, mate. This is what he does. Full-time job is just being this conspiracy theorist, because he has website, he has merchandise, he has videos, he got sponsors, podcast. He's created a personal brand, and there's a few people, leaders in that field who make good money. But it's just fucking ridiculous, mate. I mean, I understand the people who do it because they're like, yeah, let's just make that fucking money. Fair enough. I mean, if you have gullible people who believe this shit, I mean, it's not good to exploit people. But some people are so fucking stupid, they'll fail for anything. And it's a free world, it's a free country. If he says the world is flat, I cannot say no, he should go to jail. You know what I mean? If he what can you do, man? If he makes money out of YouTube video because people clicked on it, hey, what can you do? I mean, it's stupid, but it's a free world, man. I believe in freedom of speech, so he should have the opportunity to say stupid shit like that. You know what I mean? Now, look, if he's a scientist, and he tries to, change the way policy is created because of his crazy belief, that's different. You know what I mean? Or if he's a politician or something, that's completely different, obviously. But Flat Earth is stupid, man. We have pictures, we have satellite pictures, they even in the Netflix documentary, I couldn't watch it. I watched 10 minutes. I was like, fuck this shit. But during the end, then I saw comments and stuff. During the end, actually, they disproved, even the guy himself, because they did like this experiment with light or whatever. So they disproved that the Earth is actually round. So it's not flat. You fucking idiot. Hollow Earth, like I said, it's people who think that the Earth is flat and there's like a different civilization. That is not true, obviously, because we had people who dig and they do research and they take samples and shit, so we know that that is not true. But I think that would be really, really interesting. If obviously this is hold on, obviously this is from somebody's imagination, but I think it will be an interesting story. It's like a sci-fi story, which I'll be quite interested to read or see if it's a movie. And the last one, because I need to go in a few minutes, it's UFOs, which the notorious. This is my stance. I think they should be. There is no way there is no other life outside of planet Earth. It's just the universe is so fucking big, and but I don't think they visited Earth. That's the thing. I don't think, maybe they hovered around, maybe they flown, or maybe they were in the sky. I don't believe that they've stepped foot on Earth, like some people believe. But I think that's interesting. I don't think, maybe, do you think it's gonna be ever solved, like with concrete evidence? What do you think? Because I don't think maybe it's gonna take a while, maybe 10, 15, 20 years before we concretely say yes, there is life outside of this planet, maybe on Mars or something. And I'll be quite interested to see what's gonna happen with the whole Mars situation. If they're gonna colonize Mars and where science is gonna go, and if we ever go to different planets besides Mars and that type of stuff. But that's about it, mate. I think aliens do exist. They should exist. It's kind of bad that I couldn't talk more about aliens, but I really need to go in a few minutes. I have a lot of shit to do today. Um, but yeah, look into it, mate. Look into the aliens if you want to do. And even if you're bored and you have nothing to do, look into these conspiracy theories. But please don't go fucking off the rails. Look into not people who will try to convince you. Look at other people who satirize or just present documentary from just looking at from. Oh, you know what? Louis Trudeau. Was it Trudeau? I think it's is Thoreau. Sorry, Louis Thoreau. I think that's an interesting surname. He does like this weird weekend series, and he does a lot of series, and he's done a few with the conspiracy theories, with the alien people who chase aliens and people who believe in Bigfoot. Watch his, because his is very entertaining. It's interesting, and you'll see obviously that it's nonsense. But anyway, I don't know, mate. That's about it for this week. I finally managed to talk about the conspiracy theories that I wanted. Oh, this is a bit of a longer episode. It's okay. And you're gonna be smashing it. You're gonna be shaking that booty, making that money. And I'll speak to you next week. Okay, next Wednesday. Okay. Listen now. I hope that you enjoy the outro song of the Mike Yanek Show. This is the outro song of the Mike Yanek Show. I hope that you enjoyed this episode. I'll speak to you next week. Bye bye bye.